Kanye West in the past couple weeks has been under fire. He's gotten connections cut off. He's been shamed. He's been labeled as anti-Semitic. He's been removed from social media. Balenciaga, piece of shit, scumbag, trash company anyways. They cut ties with him, quote unquote cut ties. They're going to regret that in the future, I promise you, and I'll explain why. Kanye West has his shortcomings. I've talked about it in the past. But you have to understand and look at the bigger picture. You have to understand Kanye West, the type of person he is. I don't know him personally, but I know of him, and I know a lot about him through his art, through his music, through his clothing, through his interviews, through his podcasts, through his documentary. You have to look at the bigger picture, and you have to use context. It's called critical theory. Critical theory is a field of study that promotes looking at the big picture, looking at historical context, cultural context, political context. Look at the entire story. You can apply critical theory to everything, especially with people. You always should do it with people. Think deeply, exercise empathy. At the least, you'll realize through empathy, this person is a scumbag. At the most, you'll realize, I understand what they're doing. Even if what they did was bad, I see why they did it. I'm going to give them a chance. I've made mistakes before. I will continue to make mistakes before until the day I die, until I draw my last breath from this earth. I will continue to make mistakes. Most important thing is that you learn from them and that you use it as an experience and a lesson to improve and better yourself as a human being. Went off on a tangent again, but that all being said, I'm here to defend Kanye West. The worst thing that Kanye West did was tweet something, and I'm gonna talk about that tweet a little bit later, because like I said, Kanye is not without his shortcomings. It is absolutely fine, and there's nothing wrong with it, because I'm going to do it in this episode too. Multiple people have done it in the past. Actors, artists, comedians, regular people, regular weirdos like myself have done this, and it's apparently a crime to just highlight and have a conversation about the numerous amounts of powerful and influential Jewish people, not just in America, but in the world. There is nothing wrong with highlighting and provoking thought on the high amounts of powerful, successful Jewish people that come from Jewish heritage. I've talked about it before in the past, because people will say this dumb shit with every other race, but oh, I'm black, I can say this, or oh, I got the pass from a black friend. I'm Jewish. I'm a quarter Jewish. My great-grandfather was held in a concentration camp, 2 concentration camps. One of them, he spent time with Anne Frank. I don't know if he knew her personally. I only knew him as a baby. He died when I was, 1 to 2 years old. I'm not really sure. I don't know that much about him. I've only learned about this recently. So yes, if you want to attack me for being anti-Semitic, how can I be anti-myself? Highlighting and thinking about why there are so many members of a certain race that are powerful and successful and influential and have a lot of control is not anti-Semitic. Threatening violence to someone because of their race is racism. Threatening violence and being racist towards Jewish people is anti-Semitism. Kanye West, when you constantly cry racism or sexism, or you call someone a bigot, the more you do it, the more you water down the meaning and the more you hurt the meaning. You might have good intentions, but intention is only half the battle. Execution is the other half. If you have great intentions and you fuck up and you kill people along the way, then you're a piece of shit. And you've ruined it for people that also have similar intentions, but that might have better execution because they're going to be guilty by association, even though they shouldn't be. What I'm trying to say is highlighting and provoking thought on why a certain group of people, even if it's not just race, highlighting and thinking about, trying to figure out and get to the bottom why they're so successful or why they have a successful track record. Because not only are there a lot of Jewish people that are in charge of highly influential, powerful, rich companies, there are also a staggering amount of Jews that have won the Nobel Peace Prize. Is this anti-Semitic to highlight that there are successful Jewish people? Am I being anti-Semitic by highlighting that there are successful Jewish people? The answer is no. Your opinion could be that I'm being anti-Semitic. You can suck my quarter Jewish dick if you're one of those people. If you threaten violence towards Jews, that is anti-Semitic. Now, the thing that Kanye West said that can be construed or even viewed very easily, I'm admitting, as anti-Semitic, is this tweet that he tweeted. So I'm going to read the tweet that got his Twitter and his Instagram locked. He said, "I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda." Just like I just said, intention is only half the battle. Execution is the other half. Kanye West said something that was anti-Semitic. He tweeted something anti-Semitic. I'm not going to defend that. What I am going to do is I'm going to dissect the tweet, and I'm going to dissect what I think Kanye West means. But he didn't explain poorly. He explained poorly. Kanye West is a firm and strong faith, heavy faith-based Christian. And I liken this to the quote from the Bible, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." Kanye has been screwed. He's had multiple attempts to be silenced. He's gotten death threats from people like Puff Daddy, who Puff Daddy is a piece of shit scumbag who sold his soul for a quick buck, and that's how I feel. Nobody can convince me otherwise. Kanye West has been a provocateur his entire career. A provocateur is someone that says something provocative. The worst thing that can happen is he gets attention and he makes some money off of it. The best thing that happens is that he provokes thought. He provokes and he invokes introspection, and he provokes conversation. He promotes conversation. He promotes thought on a certain subject. And that's what he did here. He should not have said DEFCON 3 to Jewish people. There are better ways to let the world and let your enemies know that you're not going to bow down and you're not going to let them prosper. But by saying DEFCON 3 to Jewish people, it's not a good look. But I do genuinely believe he doesn't mean he's going to kill Jewish people. I don't think those are genuine threats of violence to Jewish people. Kanye West is not a fighter. He's not a thug. He's not a gangster. He doesn't fight or kill people. Watch his documentary. He talks about constantly being disrespected because he's never killed anybody. He's a thinker. He fights with words. He fights with songs. He fights with lyrics. He fights with music. He doesn't fight with his hands. He's not a gangster. So I genuinely do not believe that Kanye West is inciting violence towards Jewish people, and I don't think that he is overtly making threats of violence to Jewish people. It's just a figure of speech. That's how I feel genuinely. And if you think I'm being stupid, if you think I'm being a conspiracy theorist, and you're just going to label me as an anti-Semitic person, I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to provoke thought the way that Kanye West has been trying to do. Kanye West in the song St. Pablo said, "The Jews share their truth on how to make a dime." Kanye West has been pleading, not just Kanye West, many members of the black community in America and around the world have been pleading with members of their race, with members of their community, to unify, to work together, to prop each other up, to aid and encourage members of your community and members of your race, and use Jews as an example. Kanye West in St. Pablo said, that lyric that I just shared, Jews constantly prop each other up. They use their connections. They keep together in their community. They're influential. They're powerful. More power to them. I am happy. Nothing makes me happier than seeing people unify, whether it's race that unifies them, whether it's an objective to make money, whether it's an objective to win a football game, whether it's an objective to make a radio show, whether it's an objective to create a TV show and have a group of writers come together and unify and make something great. Kanye West has pled for the black community to join together and do the same thing. Deshaun Jackson intended to say that, but he shared a quote from Adolf Hitler and he got into some hot water. But Kanye West is not the first person to plead the black community to join together and unify. He's pointed, the thing that unifies most people is money. Money is a great equalizer and it's a great unifier. So in St. Pablo, Kanye West is saying the Jews shared their secret on why they're so successful. It's that they work together and they have each other's backs. Kanye is pleading for blacks to do the same thing. He's pleading for people to do the same thing, regardless of race. That's what he's been trying to do. Listen to the lyrics. Listen to what he's been saying since he started making music. Don't call him an anti-Semite. Kanye West is not an anti-Semite, and I truly believe that. If it turns out he is an anti-Semite, well, I made a mistake in defending an anti-Semite. But I don't think Kanye West is anti-Semitic. And it's not wrong to highlight that some of the biggest umbrella corporations in the world have Jewish CEOs. The CEO of Universal Media Group, a ginormous umbrella corporation that has a bunch of offshoots, that has a bunch of smaller companies that it funds and that it's in charge of. CEO is a Jew. That same CEO got his job at CBS from a fellow Jew. He succeeded a Jew at Universal Media Group. Warner Bros. CEO is a Jew. The best agent in the top agency in the world when it comes to Hollywood or music or whatever you need agent for, the William Morris Endeavor Group, the top agent there is a Jew. The founder of CAA is a Jew. Is it a crime for me to highlight this? Is it a crime for me to have done research on this? Is it a crime for me to know this and to say into a microphone and post to the internet for the world to hear that there are powerful Jews? I don't think it is. I don't feel a single bit of anti-anybody, let alone Semites. How could I be anti-Semitic? My great-grandfather went through hell, and luckily he survived, or else I wouldn't be here today. Watch what you say. Use words correctly. I've said it many times, I said it earlier in this episode, actions speak louder than words. But words are also powerful. Words can provoke emotions. They can provoke reactions. Kanye West's words that he typed on a smartphone and posted to Twitter has provoked a pretty big response. Don't throw the word anti-Semitism. Don't throw the word racism. Don't throw the word bigot. Don't throw any words out there without knowing the meaning. Don't cry anti-Semitism for everything. Don't misconstrue and misrepresent anti-Semitism, because when real anti-Semitism happens, people won't be able to identify it because they think someone highlighting that there are powerful Jews in the world is anti-Semitism. That is not anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism is clearly defined. It's not loosely defined either. It's tightly defined. And people know, if you think deep and you actually really consider it, anti-Semitism is horrible and evil, but you know what it is. Highlighting that there are powerful Jews, talking about Jews, is not anti-Semitism. My plea to you, one thing that I'm asking of you, is to think hard about everything. Think hard about the things that you care about. Think hard and think deep. Take surface level thinking and cut its head off and toss it in the ocean. No more surface level thinking. Think deep about everything. Think deep about everything. Look into everything. It can only benefit you.